All right, here we are, quarter one, week 7, day 3. Write each fraction in its simplest form. All right, so if we look at this first fraction here, there's nothing we can reduce it down to, okay, except it is an improper fraction. So how many times does 7 go into 25 without going over? It's 7, 14, 21, then 28. So 4 would be too many. Okay, so it's going to be 3. 7 times 3 is 21, so we've used up 21 of the 25, so there would be 4 left over in the numerator out of the 7. So 3 and 4/7 would be in simplest form for the 25 over 7. Okay, so now let's look at 39 and 51. All right, so if we look at that, we can divide 3 into both of them. And the reason we know that is because 3 plus 9 is 12. And we know that 3 goes into 12. 5 plus 1 is 6. And we know that 3 goes into 6. So basically 39 divided by 3 is going to be, well, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times, is going to be 13. Okay, so then 51 divided by 3 is going to be 17. Guess I forgot to put the divided by 3. All right, so 13 over 17. And at this point, we can see that there's nothing else that we can divide into 13 and 17. So 39 over 51 in simplest form is 13 over 17. And 25 over 7 in simplest form is 3 4/7. All right, so now we are finding the product. Okay, we've done that quite a few times, so I kind of worked it out for you already. Okay, this one here is multiplying all the 4s. The next one down here is multiplying everything by 8. And this one is multiplying everything by the 1. Adding them all up will give you 907,120. So make sure you write that down, 907,120. All right, Jamie has 7/10 of a pound of chicken to cook for dinner. All right, so we know that that's how much we're going to start with. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that down, 7/10, because that's how much chicken we have, of a pound of chicken. If she's going to split the chicken between 3 people, okay, it looks like we're going to have to divide by 3, okay, to see how much each person gets. Well, we know that we're going to have to change that 3 to a fraction. At this point, we know anytime we're dividing fractions, we have to keep change flips. So we're going to keep the 7 over 10. We're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and we're going to flip this one, and instead of 3 over 1, it's going to be 1 over 3. All right, so we can see if there's any cross reducing we can do. There's nothing really we can do with the 10 and the 1, 7, 3, so we're just stuck with what we have. So 7 times 1 is 7. 10 times 3 is 30. And that can't be reduced or anything like that. So we just know now that each person is going to get 7/30 of a pound of chicken. So that's our answer. 7/30 of a pound of chicken. That's how much each person is going to get. Find the quotient. All right, so we are going to go ahead and very quickly give this problem, or write the answer down to this problem. The answer that I got was 1,893. 1,893. So I worked it all out, but I just want you to have that. If you have the opportunity to give it a shot, write this down, see if you get the same answer. If you did, then you have solved the quotient correctly. All right, so now we are going to find the sum. Okay, we do have to line up decimals. In this one here, there's really not any decimals unless you kind of put one there and put some zeros. All right, so let's go ahead and line those decimals up. So we have 840.89 plus 928.00. All right, so 9 plus 0 is 9, 8 plus 0 is 8, 8 plus 0 is 8, 4 plus 2 is 6, 8 and 9, well, 8 and 8 is 16, plus 1 more is 17. Bring down the decimal, come over 3 places, put the comma. The answer is 1,768.89. All right, so what is the greatest common factor of 72 and 36? So what is the biggest number that goes into 72 and 36? Okay, well, 1 goes into both of them. 1 does. 2 goes into both of them. 3 goes into both of them. 4 does. 6 does. 8 doesn't. 9 does. Okay, and then 12 does. So there's a lot of common factors. 18 does. And 36. So the greatest common factor, or the biggest number that goes into 72 and 36, is 36. That's the greatest common factor. Write the ratio of beach balls. Okay, starting with beach balls to goggles. All right, starting with beach balls, well, I already numbered them, and I know that there are 9 beach balls. And there are 3 goggles. So the ratio is 9 to 3, except they want us to tell them in simplest form. Okay, so what is the lowest number, or what is the biggest number that goes into 9 and 3? Well, 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 3 once. So basically, we kind of just created a unit rate of 3 to 1 ratio, which makes sense. For every 3 of the beach balls, there is 1 goggles. Okay, so 3 beach balls, 1 goggle. That's the ratio in simplest form. So Jesse competes in hot dog eating contests. He can eat 32 hot dogs in 8 minutes. All right. How many hot dogs can he eat in 12 minutes? Well, if we could just go straight from 8 to 12, like multiply 8 times 2, and then we could do 32 times 2, but that's not going to work. So we're going to have to scale it down first. All right, so if we have 32 hot dogs, and it takes 8 minutes. So what I want to do is try to get this down to a unit rate. So 8 divided by 8, okay, is going to give me my unit rate of 1. And then 32 divided by 8 would be 4. So basically, now that we have a unit rate, we can get wherever we want to go, because if we want to know that, well, there's 4 hot dogs per 1 minute. So if we want to now go up to 12 minutes, so we scaled it down, now we're going to scale it back up. What does it take to get from 1 to 12? Well, it takes times 12. And then you're going to do the same thing with 4. So 4 times 12 equals 48. So to answer the question, it says how many hot dogs can he eat in 12 minutes? The answer is going to be 48 hot dogs are going to be eaten in 12 minutes. All right, so a group of 150 dancers are auditioning for a dance show. So we have 150 dancers trying out. 62% of the dancers trying out did not get on the show. Okay, so 62%. So most of them did not get on the show. and how many dancers didn't get on the show. Okay, so actually real quick, how many people did get on, or what percentage did get on the show? Well, you just take 100 minus 62, and if you do that, you're going to find out that 38 dancers did get on the show. So they're not really asking that, but that is, or 38% got onto the show. So not a whole bunch of them did. So it's 62%. All right, so how can we do this without using a calculator? And we're going to start using a calculator a little bit about when we're dealing with percentages. But how can we do this without a calculator? Well, we can take 62% and break it into a 60% and a 2%. Okay, so it could be 60%, could be a 60% and a 2%. All right, so let's think about this. We have 150 dancers, and so 60, if we broke this into 100 dancers and 50 dancers, that'll be easy to work with because 100 is really simple to work with, and then 50 is half of 100. So 60% is 60 out of 100. So that would be 60 out of the 100. Okay, and then the next 50 would be half of that. So that'd be 30 out of the 50. Okay, so that deals with the 60%, because 60% would be 60 out of 100, and then half of that for 50. And then 2% would be 2 out of 100, right? And then half of that for 50, so it'd be 1 for the 50. Okay, so if we add all this together, we have 60 plus 30, which is 90. And then we can add the 2 to it, which is 92, and one more, which is 93. So basically, we can know that 93, okay, of the 150 did not make the show. So 93 did not make it onto the show. And we can do it all without a calculator. So hopefully that kind of made sense. You can play it back as many times as you need, but that will give you the number of people. Just to kind of finish this off, if 93 people did get on the show, how many individuals did not get on the show? How many individuals did make it on the show? Well, you would just take the 150 minus 93, so 57 people did make it onto the show. Okay, so that's not what they're asking here, but how many dancers didn't get on the show? But if they did ask that, you can actually answer that question as well.